So welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, hello, my name is Carla, and yes, you guys are seeing a video from me. I know it's been a minute. I actually want to see how long it's been since I posted. Let me see. I'm just curious. 7 months. It's been 7 months since I posted a video. Wow. So I'm doing this video because God's just truly been placing it on my heart to do so. And that's what this video is about. There's no real message that I have prepared or anything. I'm going to tell you why I'm making it and how that kind of all transpired and why I just couldn't kind of go another day without filming this. And I just want to share like it's actually 4 confirmations that I received, and I'm going to place them here so you guys can see it. But it was just like so heavy on my heart. And I don't know if you ever have gotten to a place where like God places something on your heart for you to do. And then like you kind of just like, no, God, I don't know if that's you, or I don't know like if that's what you're really asking me to do. Maybe it's just like me like thinking I'm supposed to be doing that. And that's what happened. Like I missed making YouTube videos. And I kind of like started getting like, I don't know, like a nudge to do them. But then I just didn't have like the courage to film. I just said like, at this season in my life, like I just feel like no one's really gonna listen to me. There's no way that I can encourage other people, and all these things. And these are things that the enemy obviously was placing in my mind, just for me not to move forward and not to say anything on this platform. But God had a different plan, and He made sure that I knew that I needed to come back. And I'm not sure like what other videos I'm going to film in the future, but I just know that He has asked me to film this one. And I want to show you guys and tell you about the confirmations as well, because I think like that's the pretty awesome part, that there's no denying that He kept just making steps or showing me steps in order to film, or kind of using people to encourage me to make this video. And so if you're new to the channel, I'm not really sure I can kind of tell you like what kind of videos to look out for. Usually I do faith-based motivational videos, also like lifestyle videos, but I just feel God's really shifting where He wants me to go. And so I don't know what that means for this channel, and I just hope that you guys stick around for the journey and see what that also means for us and for you as a viewer. I will tell you, I am definitely going through a season of transition, and it's been a pretty tough one. I will say it's been the hardest I've ever had to encounter or go through in my life, but in the same way, it's been extremely refining, and it's been extremely, I would just say like amazing to see God work in my life. And I know oftentimes we hear that, you know, things happen in our lives to pull us back to God. And I truly feel like that is what this season is. I don't think I would have never gotten to the way I am with God, my relationship with Him, where it is now, than where it was before. And unfortunately, that was a result of a lot of things. But I mean, my relationship with God now is just undescribable to what it was. And I think before I was just hiding behind like this view that everything had to be perfect. And, you know, like I made people perceive that my life was perfect, that I never dealt with anything, and other things were perfect. And that's just so wrong. Like, I don't know why I even thought I had to live like that. And I have found so much freedom in just like in the imperfection, and telling people about my story, and like just being real and raw and like authentic. And I think a lot of people along the way in my life have always told me like, Carla, like that is what you need to do. People are going to relate to you and your story when you're more authentic. And like I kind of like always like shrugged them off. I was just like, yeah, but you know, like people also judge and people get their comments. But at this point in my life, I just don't care. And I have seen that just telling my story and telling the things that I have gone through and what I'm learning through it, how that's even helping people that I encounter to today. And so God is working. And I was listening to a service the other day, and he was just saying like, that God uses your pain is for his platform. And that really spoke to me, because I was saying oftentimes when we go through stuff in our life, you can either choose to live in your pain, or you can choose to use your pain and use it for God's glory, and talk about like what was a result of what you went through and where you are now, and how God delivered you from things. You were broken free from certain things. You were upgraded and elevated to other areas of your life by the grace of God. And so that's where I am. And I just choose to think differently about my situation versus sit in pittiness. And don't get me wrong, like I have my days. Like I have my rough days where things are rough. But I am human, and that's going to happen. But in those moments, I just choose to take a moment, take a breath. And what I learned is that worship changes everything. And at the church I'm currently going through, they did a teaching about just like worshiping through your pain. And so anytime I'm feeling discouraged or sad or whatever it is, I'll just play worship music, and it automatically puts me in a different mood. Like I just start to begin to like thank God for where he has me and what he's doing. Sometimes I just like break down in tears, because I'm like, God is so gracious and he's so good. And I think it's just all about what you choose to believe, you know? So that was a long intro. All right, so let's get to why I'm making this video. So for a while, like I said, I wanted to make videos. I just didn't know what I was gonna say. And even filming this video, I'm like, okay, so what is the point of this video? And the point of this video is just to tell you that I'm going to start making videos. This one is just to talk about why I'm going to start. It was 4 things specifically that happened when I asked God, like, do you want me to come back? And what I said was, if you want me to come back, I need specific signs or confirmations that you want me to do that. And I need it to be by random people, random strangers. And I want you to specifically have them tell me either like that they want me to film, to continue filming, or anything along those lines. That it was nothing that like a friend would tell me or anything like that. All right, so let's jump into the first confirmation. This was the first one that I got when I had asked God for specifics, right? And so I was just doing my thing throughout the day, and I received this, and this was from a girl in India who said she was trying to sleep, she couldn't sleep, and God placed my name on her heart, and she had noticed that I was off social media, and she just felt like she wanted to reach out to me. And so this is what she said. I'm gonna put it right here for you guys. She said, "Hi Carla, this is Debbie from India. Yeah, I'm following you on YouTube and Instagram and everything, and recently I haven't received any messages from you, which worried me. Hope you're doing well. I seriously don't know why I'm thinking of you at this hour. It's 2 a.m. here. Anyway, God reminded me of you, and I'm praying for you, sister, and God's gotcha. Hope you will be great and awesome. Lots of love." And then I exchanged words with her. And so that's what she wrote. And that kind of like, there were certain things in there that I was just like, what? So the first one was obviously that she's in India. I think like that in itself is just so incredible that God placed my name on someone's heart all the way in India, and that she couldn't sleep. And so the fact she couldn't sleep and she had this, I guess, like thought or this nudge in her heart, she could have chosen not to act on it, but like her obedience to write me and like to reach out to me, I think really stood out. And then the fact that she just said that she was like worried about me, and that God reminded me of you. And I just thought that was pretty powerful too, because in that point when I was going through everything, I really just felt like, God, can you still use me? Like, is there any purpose in my life? And that sentence really kind of like spoke to me, because it was like, anyway, God reminded me of you, and I'm praying for you. And then she says, and God's gotcha. It was really like God was speaking to me through her. And then that really just gave me the confidence and the push to get through like that really rough season to move on to the next. And so I thought that was pretty incredible. And that was all the way in February that happened. And then the second one, this was on my cleaning video, And this was by a viewer, and her name is Yashita. So I'll put that right here too. And she wrote, please continue this channel. I am new and love your work. And then she said, why did you stop uploading? So this comment specifically, right? This is after I got the first confirmation, and I was truly like debating. I'm like, okay, God, like that was pretty cool. Like you did that, but like, I don't know, like maybe I'm just gonna like let it ride. Like I don't know that I really should be doing YouTube again. And when her first comment was like, why did you stop uploading? And when she wrote that, I was just like, okay. I was just like, why did I stop, And obviously I think it was just that, things were happening. I was distracted, and I just forgot like that God had given me this platform and that there are people that are encouraged by it. And so after that, she wrote, please continue this channel. And then she just wrote like she's new and she loves the work. And so that kind of was like the second part where I was just like, all right, like God, there's purpose in this YouTube channel, and there's obviously a reason you want me to continue it. And I don't know what that is. I still don't know what that is. But that was pretty cool just to have her tell me like, why did you stop and you need to continue? And then the third one is by a very old viewer. She's really been there from the beginning, and hers was a little bit more subtle, but it was still encouraging. And her name is Christina, and she had posted on a picture that I put up, and she just said, miss the daily chat, which is right here. She put, miss the daily chat. And I think I kind of had forgotten about everything throughout the weeks, and this was kind of like a little reminder, like, hey, people do want you to come back. And that was pretty encouraging what she put. She just said, hey, we missed you and we want you guys to come back. And then the last one, which is gonna blow your mind. You guys, this was the fourth confirmation. And I think there's one more, which I'll share if you guys are still watching. But there's one more. But this one specifically, you guys, when I tell you this was all God, like this was all God. This happened last week. I forgot the code to my phone. I don't know what happened. And like, I was like, I'm too young to forget stuff already. But I had forgotten the code, and I had to go to the Apple store because I didn't know like, if they had to like reboot it and everything. And so like while I was there, I was just patiently waiting for them to call my name. And I hear this woman or this girl, she's calling my name, and she's like, hey, are you Carla? And I thought like, okay, cool. Like I know this person from church, or like I know her from around here. She's like, no, are you like Carla from the daily chat? And I was just like I already knew in my heart where this was going, because I was like, all right, God, like I get it. Like I'm going to start the channel. I'm going to start it up again. And she just began. Her name is Elena, and she was there with her husband. And I mean, it was just a God, like, I don't know. It was just like something God orchestrated. It really, really was. And so it was her husband, Randy, as well. Elena and Randy. And I'll post a picture of us meeting right here. And oh my gosh. Okay, so we get to talking, and she had just explained to me that, like a year ago, she had spoken to her husband. And she wrote me a email as well about it. But she had said that I mentioned to my husband how I wanted to run into you last year. I said it out loud in front of him. God, if it's meant to be, make it happen and be in it so we could take something away from it. And then she said, because I knew that you and I loved ministry. God amazed me for sure. And he used my husband and I, and that's a moment I will never forget. And then she just continued to go up, or like talking about the encounter. And so during the time we were talking, she was just so encouraging. She had told me how she would watch the YouTube videos while she's having breakfast and while she was having her coffee and like her morning routine. And I just like, I make these videos, but sometimes I just think like there's people watching them, and like not just my friends, like there's actual other people watching them. And I think the fact that she had asked God a year ago to have her and I encounter each other, but for God to be in it. And in that moment at that Apple store, God was there, and it was such a divine encounter. And I don't want to get like choked up or anything, but like it was just so profound that in the midst of everything going on, in the midst of just the routines that we have in our life, God took a moment for her and I and her husband to be at that place at that time so that he could remind me and use them to encourage me to literally make this video. Because after I spoke to her, there was just no denying that I had to film this. There's no denying that like I had to do this. And so she encouraged me in such a way. I mean, like they prayed and everything, and it was just really, really beautiful. And it's like a moment I'll never forget, because like in that moment at that store, I just felt that like God was saying like, girl, like if you don't get your act together, like I don't know how many more signs I have to send you to do this. And it was really beautiful just to hear other people's testimony and how their testimony really spoke to me too. And that goes back to what we're saying, right? Like you can choose to hide behind your perfection and just pretend everything's okay. And you can choose to be distracted by things, or you can just choose to face things head on and deal with the brokenness and deal with the pain, and then watch God do something pretty incredible. And that's what I witnessed that day. And just talking back and forward with her through email, we just both were just like, wow, like we can't believe that just happened. And so I was just so happy that I met her, and I'm just so thankful for that last confirmation. And then yesterday at church, I think that he put was, you have to help others who are experiencing your same struggle. And then he says that by doing that, it distracts us from our own needs. It helps us through our situation and allows us to put everything in perspective. And then he says, like, how can you help other people? You could help them by your gifts and talents, your mistakes. And then it's going to take strength, it's going to take sacrifice, and it also brings salvation. And so that service kind of was just like, all right, like I already got 4 confirmations. I'll take this one too. But it was pretty cool because I was just like, all right, like I can now use what I experienced to help other people that God brings my way, that might be going through the same thing. And so it's about helping others who are experiencing the same struggle. And I just feel like what better way than to just share what I went through, what I learned through it, and to help other people maybe just recognize like signs before things happen, and just to do it all for God's glory, right? Like that's ultimately what we want, is we want our lives to be used for God, and that at the end of it, people don't look back at you, but they look back up to the Father. So, and I also want to challenge you. Maybe there is something that as you're watching this video, you know that God has been sending you some confirmations, and he's been putting a nudge in your heart for something for you to start, something for you to let go of, something for you to maybe go to, move to, or somewhere for you to move to. And you keep putting the pause button on it, or you keep doubting God, and you keep asking him, hey, I need you to send me another sign. And I would just ask, how many signs does he have to send you in order for you to be obedient and listen? And so for me, it was 4.5 or 5. But I would encourage you that if there's something in your life that you know God's calling you to do, and you know in your heart it's from God, then for you to be obedient. And yeah, it's scary, and yeah, you're gonna feel challenged, and it might even be something that you're uncomfortable with, but God is on the other side, and there is just so much purpose on the other side of being obedient if you would just do what he asks you to do. And I think about all the individuals in the Bible that some were really good and listened to God, like Esther, who, you know, literally put her life on the line, but she knew that God had a purpose for her in doing what he called her to do. And that's where we get, you know, for such a time as this. And so she was able to save save her people because of her obedience. And then there was other people like Jonah, who God asked him to do something and he was like, nah, chill, I'm good. And he went literally in the opposite direction of where God called him to go. But God brought him right back where he needed to. And so there's tons of people in the Bible as examples of God specifically asking them to do stuff, and how they were able to see the fruit of their obedience, and how what they thought was so minuscule to what God had in store for them. And I think that's the scary part, right? So we think like, oh God, you want me to do this, and this is what my mentality, this is what I feel like would happen. And so like we just think about like this plan, like it's very small if I choose this route. But God's like, no. Like that is your way of thinking. I'm going to do something so great that you can't even imagine it. And he even says that in the Bible. It's like we can't even imagine the things he has planned for us. And if it's still not clear to you, then continue asking God for confirmation and be specific. And this is something that I've recently learned. It's like when you're praying, like be specific even in your prayer requests. And that's what I ask God for in this season when I need a confirmation. Like, God, I want it to be random strangers, people I don't know, and I want them to specifically say something about me starting the channel. And that is what I received. And so you can be as specific with your request to God, and if that's what God wants for you, he will answer those prayers. But now if he doesn't, don't get like all mad at him and be like, well, you know, I asked for this and this was similar to what I asked for. Because I think sometimes too, we can twist the word and we can twist confirmations to make it seem what we want for our life, because ultimately we're trying to plan out our life, and we will take something that it was not meant for us and spin it so that we feel that it was a word from God when clearly it wasn't. And so just be careful about that, and you can discern that on your own, obviously. So that is it for this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit lengthy, but I really want to just share what God's been placing on my heart and like why I felt I had to make this video. And if you want, like even go down to the comments and let me know, like, has there ever been a time where God showed you so many confirmations where you were just like, okay, God, like I get it, I'm gonna go forward, I'm gonna do what I have to do. I like to like read those and just I think it's pretty cool just to see like how God sends us signs to kind of let us know like, hey, I need you to head in this direction. So comment down below if you have any video ideas you want me to do. I might be going on a trip pretty soon at the end of the month, so I'm pretty excited about that, and it's a pretty long trip. So I will let you guys know if I am going to do it. It's kind of like pending right now, but I will be vlogging it for sure if I go. So yeah, look out for that. Write down any comments you guys want, or write down comments of videos you guys want to see or any confirmations you got. And I'm excited to do this video and finally be back on YouTube. And I want to just leave you with this. And this is something I received when I watched Stephen Furtick's service a couple days ago. And he said that whatever happens in life, just trust God. There is a purpose that is greater and a plan that is bigger. And that's really what I want to leave you with today. No matter what you're going through, just remember that there is a purpose that is greater and there is a plan that is bigger. Love you guys. God bless you. And I will see you in my next video.